们现在要开始请法。We'll do Dharma request before the lecture.
恭敬大德僧听，为此法会及一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，殊证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, out of compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to live suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
南无萨兰陀斯切多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提舍。
南无萨兰陀苏切多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提舍。
南无萨兰陀斯切多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提舍。
萨兰陀苏切多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提舍。
南无萨兰陀斯切多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提舍。
南无萨兰陀苏切多耶阿拉诃帝三藐三菩提舍。
好，开经记我们大家一起念，包括英文的。好，无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。
Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered, even in a billion eons. But now we see it, hear it, and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning.
好，诸佛菩萨、贤公上人，各位我们还有这边有经纬师，以及在座的各位佛友，还有线上的佛友，我想我们今天我们要邀请那个Brett方，就是方济士来跟大家做英文方面的翻译，所以我讲中文，然后 Brett 翻英文。好，请上座一下。今天是2018年还是算元月的6号，就是在 Berkeley 这边，我们来继续研究《佛说无量寿经》的里面的就是31位的随众的算大阿罗汉，然后31位，今天我们是要研究最后一个了，我们剩下一个就是阿难尊者，这个是一个非常重要的，就是说像今天我们能够有听到这个佛法的这所有的佛的他的经文都是他跟大家所结集起来的，所以今天我们来研究阿难尊者。
阿弥陀佛。Today, January 6, 2018, at Berkeley, we continue our study of the Limitless Life Sutra. We're finishing up the introductions of the 31 great disciples. We're at the last one, and that, of course, is the Venerable Ananda, one of the great arhats. And we're especially thankful to Ananda because he was the one that remembered and recorded the Buddha's teaching, and because of that, we're able to study the Buddha's teachings even today.
好，一样的，我们研究无量寿经以前，我们还是一样的来称赞阿弥陀佛，来意念阿弥陀佛，因为这个是一个我们做佛弟子就是要常常要想到阿弥陀佛的这个来意念他，所以大家请我们来念南无阿弥陀佛，然后念我们会从6日能够转4日，这个是一个算一个我们念佛的方式。然后我想我还是要我们平常念佛共修的方式来 用地宗来跟大家来一起来念一下，我们大概是不会太久，大概1-2分钟这样。
Before we begin the lecture, we're going to, as before, recite the Buddha's name, and using the bell and the wood fish. Probably not for too long, but it's a way for us to express our gratitude to Amitabha Buddha.
好，我们大家一起念，然后大家因为这个地宗是很摄心的，就是这样子，就是念南无阿弥陀佛，它有唱调的。好，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛，阿弥陀佛。好，在伯克利，我们每个礼拜六共修的时候，下午1点到3点都有念佛，然后念佛中间会有打地宗，就是一起带动这个大家一起来念。
Of course, every Saturday, 1 to 3, we do have a Buddha recitation session, and we recite the Buddha's name using the same method.
好，这个阿难尊者其实他就是佛陀的堂弟，就是白饭王的儿子，因为就是净饭王的一个兄弟，所以是叫做不是亲弟弟，是堂的，所以他的名字也都是叫他阿难头。这个阿难的意思呢，就是一个庆喜，也可以翻成欢喜。他也曾经做过佛陀的侍者。
The Venerable Ananda, he was a first cousin of the Buddha. His father was brother to the Buddha's father, the King Suddhodana. In Chinese, we call him Anand, but it's short for Ananda, the actual Sanskrit name. The meaning of Ananda is one of celebration, also one of happiness. He was the attendant of the Buddha.
因为就是他出生的那一天是刚好这个迦罗比罗卫国跟他就是他那个净饭王的国家跟邻居的国家打仗，他打胜了，所以大家非常欢喜。还有一个就是欢喜，就是佛陀刚好那一天他是成道的日子，所以有2个欢喜，所以大家都是非常 来高兴来庆祝，所以就是他的这个庆喜的名字的来源。
The day when Ananda was born was the day when the kingdom of Kapalilavistu, the Buddhist country, beat the neighboring country in a battle. Also, that happened to be the day when Shakyamuni Buddha attained Buddhahood. So it was a doubly celebratory event, and everybody was very happy. Because of that, on the day of Ananda's birth, he was named Celebration and Happiness.
这个白饭王他有2个儿子，一个刚才讲了就是阿难，另外一个就是提婆达多，这个就是跟佛陀作对的这个他曾经也是皈依佛弟子的，所以这个是算提婆达多的弟弟，阿难就是他的弟弟。
Ananda was the brother of Devadatta, and both of them were disciples of the Buddha.
还有他刚才讲了，他是做了佛陀的侍者，他总共做了27年，也就是佛陀在53岁的时候，他开始做他的侍者。
At age 53, the Buddha appointed Ananda to be his attendant, and he held that position for 27 years.
还有他记性非常好，所以佛陀讲的法他都可以记下来，所以而且他都比较少打坐，所以他就是人家称他为多闻第一，这个就是在当时的佛弟子讲，他是称赞他多闻第一。
Ananda has an ability, unlike others. He has a unfailing memory. So during the time he was with the Buddha, attending to the Buddha, every lecture, every teaching by the Buddha, he was able to memorize flawlessly. No mistakes at all. And for that reason, he was revered as the disciple who's foremost in learning.
还有阿难尊者，他长得是非常庄严然后人家看了都非常欢喜。所以文殊师利菩萨有称赞他过，他的相如秋满叶，眼如净莲花。
Ananda also was distinguished by his appearance. His entire deportment was proper and adorned. When people looked at him, they naturally were happy. The Bodhisattva Manjusri had praised him thus. His countenance is one of the full autumn moon, and his eyes were that of a pure lotus flower.
好，那行空上人有解释，他为什么能够得到这样子的圆满的这个庄严的相呢？就是说他持戒律非常严谨，所以用戒法来庄严。因为他以前也可以说以前生生世世都是持戒律、守规矩，所以能够得到清净无染相貌圆满的一个算是一个果报的一个证明。 然后佛他有32相，那阿难他有30相，所以就是只差2相。
The Venerable Master Hua explained to us the reason behind Ananda's fine deportment and appearance. The fact that he looked like the full moon and the pure lotus flower. It's because he was in previous lives, he held the precepts extremely strictly. Through countless kalpas, he adorned himself with the Dharma in that way. Every lifespan, he was foremost in upholding the precepts and followed the rules. For that reason, he obtained purity, and that purity gave him the countenance that is full and perfect. So this is yet another explanation of the causal relationship, causes resulting in a end result that is supreme. A Buddha has 32 major characteristics, and Ananda has 30 of them, only lacking 2.
就是在佛陀成道以后，他回故乡，然后那时候阿难刚好是25岁，然后那时候他就看到佛的庄严相，他就出家。所以佛陀问阿难说：你是跟我都是心算堂兄弟，好像就是亲兄弟一样。你在哪里佛法是看到什么殊胜的原因发心出家？
After the Buddha attained the way, he returned to Kapilavastu to speak the Dharma. Ananda was 25 years old at the time, and immediately he brought forth the mind to leave home. So the Buddha asked Ananda, "You are my first cousin, really just like you are my brother. What did you see in the Buddha Dharma that moved you so much, that is so supreme, that caused you to want to leave the home?"
那阿难答说：“就是因为看到你这个非常庄严殊胜的这个相，然后光明皎洁，所以还有紫金光具，所以我仰慕你的这一种的一个相好，所以我发心出家。”
Ananda replied, "When I first saw the Buddha and your superior and wondrous appearance, the adorned appearance, that your body is bright and pure. It's just like purple gold gathered together. I greatly admire you for this incredible appearance. For that reason, I decided to leave home."
而且在仙空上面也有提这一点，说像这样子阿难的发心出家是不是很正确的？所以因为他是不是真正看到他这样子来，因为你出家是要修到了生脱死，他没有这样子想法，他看到我庄严相，所以他以为他2个堂兄弟他做什么事情，那他会去给他保护他，或者是给他什么法力啊，或者是给他什么三昧啊， 所以他这样子的一个刚开始这样子是不是很正确，是甚至于商根上人说他是错的。所以因为一个人的修行是自己的，就是公修公德，婆修婆德这样子，所以都不能代替。
The Venerable Master had commented on this particular event. He mentioned that Ananda's point of view was actually erroneous because he didn't leave home to cultivate the way. He only did so because of the fine appearance of the Buddha. So that is an expression of familial feeling and also of love, a mind of love. When we leave home, we actually should focus on cultivating the way and to attain samadhi so that our mind is unmoving, so that we can always practice Buddhism. Ananda had thought that by simply leaving home, the Buddha was going to be able to bestow on him the samadhi, give him that mindfulness. What he didn't realize is that the body and the mind cannot be mutually replaced. They cannot replace each other. Nobody can do something like this. So in the common Chinese expression is whoever cultivate, a man gets the benefit. A woman cultivate, woman gets the same benefit. Anybody who cultivate would get the benefit of that cultivation.
还有阿难他出家的时候就请问佛陀什么叫做吉凶？所以我们有在圣尘里面有看到什么阿难问世佛吉凶经，有这个一个比较薄的一个，他吉凶经就是问佛什么叫做吉，什么叫做凶，然后佛陀当时就很简单的很简洁的跟他答说你持戒就是吉，你不持戒就是凶。
When Ananda left home, he asked the Buddha the meaning behind auspiciousness and calamity. In fact, there is a sutra of that title. It's called Ananda Requesting the Buddha's Explanation of Auspiciousness versus Calamity. This is a very short sutra, and its propagation is wide. It's widely followed. Anyway, when Ananda asked that question, the Buddha's answer was also very simple and very plain. He said, if you can uphold the precept, that is auspiciousness. On the other hand, if you don't uphold the precept, that's calamity, disaster.
还有这个在《妙法莲华经》第9品有提到受邪无邪人记，这个当中有提到佛告诸善男子，我与阿难等以空王佛手，同时发阿耨多罗三藐三菩提心。那阿难常漏多闻，所以这个就是他这个多闻地，他常漏多闻。那我是常精进， 是故我已经得到这个阿耨多罗三藐三菩提成佛。
In the Lotus Sutra, chapter 9, that when the Buddha recognize those who were beyond studies, the Buddha said, good men, I and Ananda and me, during the Buddha empty king, we both put forth the mind for Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. While Ananda enjoy learning a lot, I, on the other hand, was vigorous in my cultivation, which is why I obtained Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi, while Ananda is here to protect my Dharma, and that's why we also know that Ananda is known as someone who is foremost in learning.
所以阿难他就一向多闻，就没有修定力，所以在《楞严经》上有提到，他去托钵的时候遇到摩登伽女，然后就这个摩登伽女，他们用梵天咒给他迷住了，所以他几乎要破戒了。佛陀在经舍里面就知道这个，就赶快他在佛顶他就放光，他就收了这个楞严咒，然后又派了这个文殊师利菩萨去用这个楞严咒把阿难救回来。
In fact, because of his tendency to learn rather than cultivate, got Ananda into trouble, as was recounted in the Surangama Sutra, when he was seduced by Matanga's daughter, to the point of almost losing his precepts, breaking his precepts. And all Matanga's daughter used was a simple Brahma heaven mantra, and was able to subdue him. And the Buddha had to send Manjushri Bodhisattva to rescue both of them.
还有在阿难尊者他修行，其实他是很认真的，他护持佛法，然后他修行当中他也我们仙公上人讲，他也是在修行的时候也得了总持三昧，所以这个是仙公上人在佛陀十大弟子里面他有这样子一个描述。他这个就是所谓总持三昧，就是总持就是总一切法能持无量义，这个就是总持的意思。三昧就是一种，他得到一种定。
The fact was, the Venerable Master, in his introduction of the 10 great disciples of the Buddha, mentioned another aspect of Ananda, that he was able to attain a samadhi, a dhyana called, a mantra called samadhi. He obtained that samadhi. That mantra means it can gather up all the dharmas and be able to uphold limitless meaning.
而且圣空上呢也称赞他有8种不可思议的这个境界，所以我们现在就介绍一下。他第一种境界就是不受悲情，就是因为他的原因呢，就因为他刚才讲了，他去托钵，他就是自己受悲情的这个，他自己一个单独去托钵，然后就受到这个羯灯魔女的这个难，所以他被救回来以后，他就发誓，他不再受悲情，就是这样子一个忏悔的这个，所以他以后永远就没有再受悲情，这个是第一个不可思议的境界。
The Venerable Master mentioned that Ananda has possessed 8 different kinds of states that are inconceivable. The first one, he never accept invitation is separately just for him. The reason is, as recounted in the Surangama Sutra, he got into trouble because of it. One time he decided to go off on his own and then ran into Matanga's daughter, almost ending up in disaster. So after that lesson, he vowed that he will never accept single invitation for himself. Any of the disciple asking him to receive offering singly, he would refuse. This is because he really learned that lesson, and it's also a state that is rather inconceivable.
还有第二种境界，就是他不接受佛的这个故衣，就是旧的衣服。因为一般的人都说佛穿过的衣服都很喜欢，因为他可以佛的这个法力或者是智慧能够多一些，然后消业障像这个这样子，他净空上人讲，这样子是一种贪心，所以阿难他不求受这个佛的旧衣服故衣。
The second state possessed by Ananda is one that he would not accept discarded clothing from the Buddha, as compared to the other bhikshus at the time who tend to sought after the Buddha's old clothing, thinking that even though they are old clothing, they're from the Buddha, would somehow add to their wisdom or possibly eliminate karmic obstacles. The Venerable Master said this is a kind of greed. And Ananda, on the other hand, was not afflicted by that problem.
第三个境界就是他不看非死，就是不看，他不是时候他不看，就是等于他不该看的他就不看，就是合乎规矩的他才看，所以这个也是像我们一般讲，孔子也是讲过非礼勿视，所以这个就是一样的接近的这个道理。
The third kind of special characteristic of Ananda is that he would not look at something when the time is not right. When it's not the time to look at something, he just resolutely would not divert his attention. Simply said, whenever something is not according to the rule, he will not look at it. Only something that's according to the rule, then he would have then we look at it.
第四个就是说他不生染心，这个是修行人很重要的。阿难呢，他是当了佛陀的这个侍者，所以佛陀他飞到天上的时候，或者是去龙宫的时候，他们都会看到天女或是龙女，或者是阿修罗女，因为他们都是长得非常漂亮的，所以他跟佛陀去的时候，他都没有一点点的疑心，所以他不生染心，这个是第四个不可思议境界。
The fourth inconceivable state of Ananda was one of never giving rise to a contaminated mind. Ananda often accompanied the Buddha to the heavens or to the dragon palaces, or maybe even to palaces of the Asuras. And often they'll run into heavenly maidens, dragon maidens, maidens of the Asuras. They are all very beautiful. Yet, he never gave into a mind of a desire. So we call that the mind of uncontaminated.
还有第五个，他就是他知道在佛陀打坐入定的时候，他知道入定是什么时候入的，然后他入了什么定，像这一种的入定，或者是出定，其他的比丘都是不晓得的，所以这个是第五种不可思议的境界。
The fifth inconceivable state, Ananda knows exactly when the Buddha enters samadhi, the time and also the particular kind of samadhi. The rest of the bhikshus have no such ability. So this is his number 5 inconceivable state.
第六个就是阿难尊者知道佛在定中，他教化所有的众生，他这些众生他得到什么利益，阿难他都知道。
The fifth kind, Ananda knew the teaching of the Buddha when he was in samadhi. All the living beings that were taught by the Buddha during the samadhi, and what kind of benefits were obtained by the living beings, all of that Ananda knew.
好，第七个就是阿难就是佛所说的法，阿难都可以完全的了解明白，而且呢能够记到。
Seventh, Ananda completely and thoroughly understood the teaching of the Buddha. Everything he understood.
第八个就是阿难尊者，他法不再问，就是说他所听过的法，佛陀所说的法，他永远记着，他不再请求佛再去请问，就是请佛再说，他没有这样子。
Number 8, he never had to ask again about the Buddha's teaching. Each time he heard something from the Buddha, he immediately was able to memorize it. Never had to ask again.
好，我们不可思议境界已经讲完了，下面我们讲阿难尊者，因为他平常他除了庄严，相貌庄严，然后他也非常的谦虚，做人非常诚恳，所以没有遭到在僧团里面任何的怨恨嫉妒所以他常常被佛陀都是公开称赞，而且还有一个就是说他很受这个女众的尊敬。
So those were the 8 kinds of inconceivable states of Ananda. Further, we learned that Ananda not only was learned, he was also very humble and very sincere. He never tangled up with people and caused hatred and jealousy. And the Buddha praised him openly among the Sangha. He was especially revered by the woman Sangha, woman assembly.
Yeah, okay.
In fact, the woman could leave home and cultivate.
OK， 好，因为就是阿难他今天女众出家可以出家，也是因为阿难跟佛陀请求过来的。因为这个在当年佛陀的那个姨母就是教檀米，就是摩诃婆舍婆提夫人，就是我们讲就是大爱道。摩诃就是大，婆舍就是爱，然后菩提就是道，所以这个有大爱道经，所以这个是他们能够出家，也就是阿难争取来的。
So the reason women were allowed to leave home was because of the effort by Ananda. He had fought for that possibility. At the time of the Buddha, his stepmother, Mahapasabati, also called the Great Love Way.
好这个他的姨母看到佛陀回来故乡的时候，他看到有一些王子，那时候有7位王子，就是随佛他出家，然后活罗侯后面也是接着就出家成沙弥，所以他那时候他就开始心一动，就也可以讲善根就开始发起来，所以他就要求要出家。那他要求的时候，佛陀并没有答应，叫他说你在家学佛守5戒就可以，这样子也是可以修行成正果的，成圣果的。
The Buddha's stepmothers saw that 7 princes decided to leave home with the Buddha, including Rahula, the Buddha's son when he was Prince Siddhartha. That Rahula also became a Shramanera. So the stepmother herself, her good root sprouted forth, and she wanted to leave home as well. But the Buddha refused her request. He asked her to just study Buddhism at home, and if she could just uphold the 5 precepts, she could also cultivate to the fruit, the sagely fruit.
那个佛陀没有答应，他姨母还是不死心，然后就去阿难那边请去跟佛陀讲，然后他总共讲了3次，一次都不行，第2次讲也不许，第3次最后讲了3次，所以最后才答应了。
The stepmother then went to Ananda and talk again and again, talked to Ananda and asked him to help, asking Ananda to represent her so that the Buddha could be talked into allowing her to leave home. Ananda went to the Buddha one time, refused by the Buddha. Second time also was refused by the Buddha. And only the third time, the Buddha finally reluctantly agreed.
那佛陀讲，在正法千年，假如说有女孩子出家，那会减掉一半，剩下500。但是这个女众出家能够行八正法的话，八净法的话，那就还是可以得到正法千年，所以他就准许他们出家，但是他们要求他女众比丘尼要行八净法。
The Buddha then explained why. He said, the proper Dharma, my proper Dharma would span 1,000 years. On the other hand, if I cross over womankind into the Sangha, then this proper Dharma period would be cut short by 500 years. On the other hand, if the woman Sangha could uphold the 8 Dharma of respect, then the proper Dharma would be restored to the full 1,000 years. So now that I have allowed them to leave home, they must uphold the 8 Dharma of respect to fulfill the requirement to become bhikshunis.
所以这个他的姨母摩诃婆娑婆提，所以就也答应说他要尊敬八净法，所以他就成为那时候的第一个比丘尼，比丘尼。然后后面又有500个女众就跟着他一起出家，都成了比丘尼。
For that reason, Mahapasapati was the first bhikshuni of under Sakyamuni Buddha. When she became a bhikshuni, 500 other women followed her and also became bhikshunis.
刚才讲过，他就是说，他很得这个女人喜欢，所以他这个也是会造成他的困扰，所以他就跑去问佛，请问佛陀，我要怎么样子来对待妇女？
Well, because Ananda was so well liked among the women, and sometimes that brought trouble and affliction. So Ananda came to the Buddha and asked, "How do I deal with this problem?"
好，那佛陀就跟他说：“阿难，你不要跟他们见面。”
The Buddha then told Ananda, "Just simply do not see them."
那阿难就讲，假如说他们要求见面，或者是我们必要跟他们见面怎么办？那佛陀讲，阿难，那就不要跟他们讲话。
So then Ananda asked, "What if they insist on seeing me?" Then the Buddha said, "Just don't talk to them. Do not speak to them."
就是不要讲话，就是可以见面，但是不要讲话。像这个的话，也是一种修行。像在圣城的话，像你看我们的方丈，他都很少看外面的，就是看静静的，他不看很远。不只是男众女众更不看，所以就是一个常常保持一种自己的境界，这个一个回光返照的这个心，所以他就跟他讲，你既然见面了，你就是尽量不要去讲话， 然后阿难又讲说，那你见面了他们讲话怎么办？然后阿难他就佛陀讲，那你就要提高警戒，你就要常常要关照自己的心，就是不要受干扰，这个也是一种很重要的修行方法。
So for that, of course, is a way to uphold one's practice. And for instance, in a city of 10,000 Buddhas, you can observe our abbot. He is always alert in guarding his practice, that he never struck up unnecessary conversation or even look at people that he shouldn't be looking at. So for Ananda, he then asked the Buddha, what if people wanted to talk to me, women? So then the Buddha said, well, if that's the case, then you just have to be very alert and always look within yourself to make sure that you maintain this state of uncontamination.
所以阿难他一直当佛陀的使者，一直到佛要入灭，的时候，然后就是很有名的，就是阿难世事请问佛，所以这个是非常重要。他这个世事就是第一个要以戒为师，以戒为师。就是说，因为佛陀不在了，那大家就以戒律为老师，然后要以四念处为住，就是你常常心里要住在四念处。然后第三个就是开经记的一个头文都是如是我闻，这个是第三个。第四个，假如说因为僧团里面佛不在了，会有一些比较不守规矩的比丘，要怎么办？就是说要默宾之，就是不要跟他讲话，甚至于并有时候是把他并出去这样子。这个是一种对付一些不好的比丘的或者比丘尼的方法。
So Ananda, after he left home and became the Buddha's attendant, the Buddha, then he requested the Buddha to speak all the sutras that were spoken before he left home, and the Buddha spoke it one more time. And so Ananda protected the Buddha's Dharma and assisted his turning of the Dharma wheel all the way until the Buddha entered Nirvana, and all the sutras spoken by the Buddha he was able to clearly and thoroughly memorize. When the Buddha entered Nirvana, Ananda asked the Buddha to teach him one more time regarding 4 important matters. Then the Buddha said, the first one is, from here on out, when I'm not going to be here, you shall regard the precepts as your teacher. Number 1. Number 2, you shall always dwell in the 4 mindfulness states. The third one, whenever you speak or repeat the Dharma, you should always begin with the phrase, thus I have heard. The fourth is, how do you deal with bhikshus who may not be all that nice? They could be very difficult bhikshus. What do you do? And the Buddha said, you just stay quiet, but and repel them by staying silent.
所以后来佛陀入涅槃以后，那时候阿难尊者还没有开悟，但是后面接着大家说要结集经典，所以在当时的结集这个场地里面，大家就把他赶出去，然后不给他参加，所以他就回去里面自己的疗房，就精进用功，精进的努力的，最后在他要倒下去睡觉的时候，忽然间就开悟了。所以这个也是一种大家是帮助逼他，所以不给他进场，然后他自己也觉得不好意思，自己回去，所以用功，这样子一个开悟方法。
After answering Ananda's question, the Buddha then entered nirvana. At that point, Ananda still has not certified to the fruit. Soon, the great arhats gathered together to compile the Buddha's teaching, all the sutras. Because Ananda was not an arhat, he was refused by Mahakasyapa to be part of this assembly. In fact, he asked him to leave. Ananda, returning to his residence, decided to work very hard. And that same night, as he was just about to lie down to sleep, right before his head hit the pillow, suddenly he became greatly enlightened and certified to the fruit.
所以他开悟以后，他就赶快回去这个集经的场所，因为那边在等嘛，在集，所以他就那个门是关的，所以他就用神通从门缝里面就进去了，所以就跟大家说顶礼，然后就升座，他就开始升座，就开始在做背诵佛陀的经典，所以就这样子，我们目前的才有所有的佛经里面，我们能够修行到闻这些经典都是算阿难的功劳，还有大迦叶的功劳。
So we also understand that Mahakasyapa's refusal for Ananda to participate was actually a tactic to get him to hurry up and certify to the fruit. Anyway, after he attained the arhatship, Ananda quickly went back to the assembly, and now that he has spiritual penetration, he was able to get right inside. He bowed to Mahakasyapa and thanked him, and then he ascended the seat to recite from memory all the teachings of the Buddha throughout the ages. The fact that the Buddha Dharma could be propagated today to all the worlds, these two venerables, Mahakasyapa and Ananda, we should be very thankful for their contribution.
所以结集经典完了以后，有一天阿难就问大迦叶说：“世尊，传给你的经兰迦沙之外，还有没有其他什么传给你？”大迦叶就用手跟他照一照阿难说：“你把这个门前的那个旗杆把它弄倒了它。”
One day, Ananda asked Mahakasyapa, the world-honored one, other than bestowing you the golden sash, what else did he transmit it to you? Mahakasyapa waved his hand and said to Ananda, how about you go out to the front of this building, outside the door, and push over the flag staff.
所以这个意思就是他要把他传法，有这样一个动作，所以就大家说就把衣钵就是正言法藏的这个法传给阿难，并且说我现在已经老了，不愿留在这个世间太久，所以他就这样子传了这个法给阿难，所以也要叫阿难好好保护这个正法眼藏。
Thereafter, Kasyapa, Venerable Kasyapa, transmitted to Ananda the Buddha's sash and the bowl, the mendicant's bowl, to Ananda, telling him, I am getting old and I do not like to stay in this world for too long. So hereby I transmit to you the proper Dharma eye treasury to you. And I would expect you to protect this proper Dharma eye treasury.
所以再过一段时间，阿难大家是入灭了，然后就阿难尊者他在120岁的时候，他在有一天在竹林里面去听到一位比丘在诵佛陀的偈颂是这样子，他说：若人生100岁，不见谁老鹤，就是鹤水鹤，然后不如生一日，而得独见之。阿难听了非常的惊讶，非常的也很离谱，也很难过，所以他就告诉这位比丘说：你诵错了，应该是若人生100岁，不解生灭法，不如生一日，而得解了之。这样子才是对的。
So thereafter, Ananda stayed in the world. When he was 120 years old, passing through a bamboo grove, he heard a bhikshu reciting a gatha from the sutras. And he spoke like this. He said, if a person were to live for 100 years and never saw this water crane, Ananda 120. So, if a person were to be alive for 100 years and never saw this water crane, it'd be better if this person would only to live one day and be able to see this crane. Ananda was shocked and thought that this bhikshu was really wrong. So he said to him, your recitation was erroneous. The actual gatha actually says this. If a person were to live 100 years but never understood the Dharma of production and non-production, it would be better if this person were to only live one day and be able to understand it.
所以这个他送这个比丘送这个阿难跟他指正了，他回去告诉那个 他的师父，就是宋人的师父，然后他师父跟他说：阿难老了，你不要去听他的，他智慧也不好了，所以就还是照我以前的方式去背诵吧。然后阿难听了非常难过，他心里想：哦，这个现在的世人也是非常可怜，我说正法，他们却偏喜欢听邪法。
So this bhikshu, not believing Ananda, went back and reported what Ananda told him to his master. The master actually said, well, Ananda is really getting old, and his wisdom is also getting very weak. Don't listen to him. Just follow what I had taught you before and keep reciting. Ananda heard about it. He was very, very sad, thinking how pitiful are people in the world. I spoke the Dharma, the proper Dharma, and yet they thought I spoke the deviant Dharma.
所以阿难的心里也非常无奈，他就觉得他度化的在世间的缘分，他已经差不多了，已经要尽了，所以他就自己就往北方的恒河走去，然后他想准备入灭，就是入涅槃。
Feeling rather helpless, and Ananda understood that his condition for crossing over people in the world has come to an end. He walked towards the northern end of the Ganges River, preparing to enter Nirvana himself.
所以他去到恒河那里，那时候有山河大地都6种震动，然后雪山那里有500个仙人，看到这种瑞相，所以他就飞来恒河，那请求阿难跟他们受戒出家，阿难也默然受请了。
At that moment, the great earth, rivers, and mountain exhibited 6 kinds of shaking and clapping. Up in the snowy mountain, 500 immortals saw this auspicious appearance. They flew over to the Ganges River and asked to leave home under Ananda. Ananda accepted their request in silence and spoke the Dharma to them.
所以就是他就受戒完，然后也给这些仙人讲法，然后在这个500个仙人当中有一位叫做桑那和修的这个尊者，他阿难察觉他是一个非常好的法器人才，所以就把正法眼藏传给他。
Among the 500, one of the venerables, Ananda recognized him as a Dharma vessel, and so he transmitted to him the proper eye treasury.
所以，然后这个还有，并且也讲了这个传法记给他说，本来复有法，就是复有这个法给你，复了言无法，复了以后就说没有法了，然后各个悉自悟，悟了无法。
as he was transmitting the Dharma, he spoke this gatha. Originally, I was sending you a Dharma. But once I've sent it to you, there really is no Dharma. Everybody must certify to it, enlighten to it by himself. This is how you ultimately enlighten to the Dharma of no Dharma.
所以就是他传给了这个桑那和修算收三组，那阿难是算二组，然后大迦叶是算初组，这个都是释迦牟尼佛把正法演藏的一个传法。
So in terms of lineage of transmission, Shakyamuni Buddha transmitted the proper eye treasury to Venerable Kasyapa, who is recognized as the first patriarch. When Kasyapa transmitted it to Ananda, we now recognize Ananda as the second patriarch, and this third patriarch, Sangha, I'm sorry I didn't look up the Sanskrit term, is the third patriarch, one of the 500 immortals.
所以那时候阿难他自己心里也想我现在已经蛮老了，我的身体非常脆弱，也就像寂寞一样，就是像水泡一样的，所以这个是应该就是不会长久，所以他想要入涅槃了。然后这个消息呢就传出去了，他要入涅槃，就传到这个摩羯陀国的阿舍世王那里。他听了以后非常的悲哀，然后就也流泪痛哭，然后他也感到这个他的邻居的一个国王就是利舍离国，他那里去劝阿难，不要还是不要入灭。
After the transmittal, Ananda thought, my body really is getting very precarious and brittle. It's just like a pile of bubbles. And the fact that I'm so old and weak, how long can I last? I must enter nirvana. This news was heard by King Ajita in the kingdom Makita. He was greatly sorrowed to the point of crying. He hurried to where Ananda was, and both kings tried to talk Ananda out of it.
所以阿难当时也这样子想，所以因为如果我偏向哪一国哪一边呢，他们就会起争执，甚至于打仗，所以这样子是无有是处，所以他想说，我应该是以平等的心来度一切有情，所以阿难他就在恒河的中流，结跏趺坐，然后身涌虚空，在空中现18遍，然后阿难就入涅槃，入这个风信数三昧这种的定，然后用三昧的这个火来把自己烧了。
Ananda thought, if I were to accept the request of one of the two countries, then our cause eventually infighting between the two. That's not the way to go. I shall treat all sentient beings with the level mind. So he went to the midstream of the Ganges River, sat in full lotus, and the body resting in empty space, whereby he also exhibited the 18 transformation of an arat. Then entering the swift wind samadhi. Using this samadhi, he emitted the samadhi true fire to burn up his body.
所以他烧了以后的舍利呢，就被分成4份，一份它是放在忉利天宫那边去，另外一份就是分到龙宫，就是这个叫做沙杰罗龙宫那里，然后另外一份就给阿舍世王，另外一份就是给比舍离国王，所以他们4份他们都拿去建塔来供养。
The sarira left from this cremation was separated into 4 portions. One portion went up to the Tusita heaven, the palace, for veneration. Another portion went to the dragon palace. The third went to Ajita king. Fourth one, the king Bisali. At each place, a treasure pagoda, a treasure stupa, was used to house the venerable sarira.
好，占我们整个阿难的这个我们几乎都讲完了。从开始他生出来，然后出家，然后入昧，然后这样子的整个星空上人有这样子一个提示给大家来鼓励大家。他讲这样子，他说虽然是这样子，这一切的法还是空的。所谓绘事后述，就是绘就是绘画的绘，然后事情的事，然后后面的后述就是就是素食素，就是很素的纯素的，就意思是说，像我们画艺术画完的画，那个纸，它的原来的纸都还是白的，所以就是说。我们一切的这个任何的修行都是到最后都是空的，所以我们就用这样子的一个修来学这个素画素是后素的这个画的方法来修习佛法，就是。我们要少一切法，离一切相，什么都没有。所以这个就是我们整个的这个星空上人给我们一个提示、鼓励的修行方法。
So now that we're done explaining Ananda's biography, we want to bring up what the Venerable Master Hua had instructed us. He said, even though all these happen, everything actually is empty, void. It's just like the saying, even after you painted a picture on a piece of paper, after painting, that paper fundamentally is still white or of a single color. So that is why everything is empty. And you, all of you, should try to do your own painting in that manner, which means cultivate Dharma, the Buddha Dharma, sweep away all the Dharma, all the rest of the Dharma, be apart from all appearances. Really, at the end, nothing. There really isn't anything.
所以大概安南的的司机就讲到这里。另外关于八敬法的，刚才有提到要比丘尼行八敬法，我希望说这个自己可以去查一下资料，八敬法是哪八法，自己去看。然后对于这个八敬法，我在这里要提一下，就是仙公上人他给我们的一个开示。
Speaking of the Dharma of 8 respects, I just want to bring it up a little bit and also to relate what we've learned from the Venerable Master regarding this.
那这个叫他们八敬法，他们自己去查。
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. You can look it up yourself and
不用讲，就是他们
look it up yourself and try to gain an understanding what it's all about. It applies to all the
可以查
women.
到，这个都可以，字典啊什么都有的。
You can find them in Buddhist dictionary.
所以我在这里要提一下仙公上人对我们的很重要开始，就是说他讲我们的道场平时比丘尼一定要对比丘行八敬法，但是在事项上做事，要讲公道，要讲真理。不可说比丘尼一定要恭敬，要听比丘的话。
On that matter, regarding respect, the Venerable Master instructed that within all of our way places, bhikshunis must practice these 8 Dharma of respect and follow the instruction of bhikshus.
就是说，意思说你自己要做这个比丘八敬法，但是做事的时候都是要讲公道，要讲真理。好像是开会的时候，谁都不可以来压迫哪一个人，比丘压迫比丘尼啊，或者比丘尼来压迫比丘啊，这样子都不可以。这个是很重要。还有现在我们的这个现在的社会，像有一些比较旧的思想，都应该要打破。我们要用佛的慈悲，这个很重要。我们要用佛的慈悲、菩萨的心肠来做事，不要用压迫法，然后要互相尊重，要大公无私，做什么事情都要光明正大，这个是非常重要。也不可以随便比丘骂比丘尼，或者是比丘尼来轻慢比丘，这样子都是不好的，不可以这样子。
So even though these are rules set down by the Buddha, but in today's time and also in while we're conducting the affairs of the way places, we must listen to each other and not try to overpower each other. We must not try to use force. especially in modern society like ours, old thinking and old habits must be broken. Most importantly, we must conduct our all the matters with a heart of compassion, the compassion of a bodhisattva. Never thought about discrimination and never try to promote inequality. So such that bhikshus should not try to look down upon bhikshuknis and vice versa.
好，大概是这样子。然后我想，因为我非常欣赏仙公上人，他的任何寄送，他的寄送都是有押韵的，所以我也把阿难尊者仙公上人的寄送，我们来读一读，非常有意思的。这样子，他这个寄送，它有分两段，一个4日，然后一个7日。我想4日的不用讲，我们讲7日的好。他这样子的一个寄送方式他这个寄送的句语，他这样子讲：如是我闻应心田，结集三藏照地天。这个就是说如是我闻，我们知道嘛，就是刚才都是开经偈的，这个都是在这个阿难的心里面，然后这个就是结集的时候，我们三藏结集的这个是非常重要，天地都是可以讲有光明，因为我们有佛的经典，那天地就有光明。然后光明破除一切暗，多闻记忆万德篇。就是说，刚才讲的这个有这个结集佛经的光明，能够破除一切的这个黑暗，就是不好的东西。然后多闻记忆就是讲他这个阿难的，他是多闻记忆的，他这个算非常万德倍的这个。然后佛法流传3000界，真轮受化100亿川，就是说佛法流传下来3000大千世界然后这个我们的都是可以真轮就是说我们可以后面的人都可以修行来有被来受化，就是说我们可以来度化来受度化100亿川，就是说表示很多的人。然后后贤普瞻提壶位，然后就是说后面我们的一些弟子里面都可以沾到这一些佛法的这个法位。庆喜公信广无边，庆喜就是阿难，他的功劳是非常广大无有边际的。
I greatly admire the Venerable Master's ability to compose something truly beautiful for any subject, and his very brief sketch for Ananda is a great example. I would like to just recite the gatha spoken by the Venerable Master on behalf of Ananda to illustrate how beautiful his poetry was. Thus I have heard, and that seal the mind ground, assembling the Tripitaka, shining upon heaven and earth. This light breaks through all the darkness. His ability to learn and to remember is truly an essay on the multitude of virtues. The fact that the Dharma is able to propagate and flow forth to the 3,000 realms, and the fact that Sanghas are transformed is just like 100 billion rivers flowing forward. All the worthy that came afterward are able to taste this supreme, wonderful taste. We celebrate his accomplishment, which is vast and limitless.
所以到今天刚好我们讲完31位大比丘神通已达的这一些上首，就是说他主要的这些声闻众，所以已经讲完了。末学也是也晚出家也没有什么修行，就是找一些资料跟大家来一起来研究。我们主要我讲法的意思就是说，尽量对我们修行方面的帮助来讲它的重点，这样子。当然有很多的我们没有办法，因为才几十分钟的时间，要讲人一个比丘一生的生平，这个是不是很容易的事情？所以有讲的不周的地方，还是要多多包涵。现在看大家有没有什么意思要问或者是有什么可以提出来。Yeah.
Any questions?
阿弥陀佛法师，因为今天讲的阿难尊者，那阿难尊者在所有的尊者里面是排名是最后，所以我在想说，这个次序尊者出现的次序是不是有修正的，就修正高低的意思，还是？所以我想请问法师。
也这个每一个讲法的这样子，每一次讲法的时候的听众的当机众或者是听法的人，像《无量寿经》来讲，大部分主要也是跟阿难讲的，然后后半部是跟那个弥勒菩萨讲，所以当然你说为什么排这样子到他最后的问题，其实我也不知道。我想说，我们就提出来，把每一个人的生平能够学习到他的精神，这个是就好了。因为好像每一个经的排的次序都没有一定。像《阿弥陀经》，它是排在中间，然后甚至于它有每一个，因为《无量寿经》有很多版本，然后很多名词也是很难，人的名字也都是我们每一个有很多版本，很多翻都不同，所以我想你提这个是很好，就是为什么会有秩序不同？对，我想可能能够拿出来都有他的一些有必要提的当时的，像阿难他的修行是很不错，然后10大弟子之一，然后他又是侍者，我想这个是一个我们所要知道的就可以。你问我说他为什么排这样子，我不知道。 或者是我可以再问看，或者去找我不知道。
The question was why Ananda, foremost as he was introduced at the end among the 31 disciples. The Dharma Master says, indeed, in the Limitless Sutra, he's introduced at the end. On the other hand, the Buddha actually spoke directly to Ananda throughout the sutra. Of course, at the end, the Buddha also spoke to Maitreya Bodhisattva. So really, I don't know exactly why. I think the important thing is just to understand the true meaning behind the teaching. Each sutra is different in terms of its intention. For instance, in the Amitabha Sutra, Ananda was mentioned right in the middle. Also, don't forget the Limitless Life Sutra has many versions, and so that yet adds to the complexity in terms of answering your good question. I'm sure there's a reason behind it. Ananda being a great cultivator and also the attendant of the Buddha, he must have regarded in a very different light, but as to the exact meaning, I do not know.
还有一个就是可能有一个可能也是跟年轻也有关系，像或者是他证悟的时间也有关系，像那个辽本纪，他很多都是他第一个，因为他是第一个开佛陀转法轮的第一个，那时候他成道的这个，所以他很多都是排他第一，辽本纪啊，就有这样子。那阿难就是可能后面，就比较年轻，后面出家，也有可能他排这样子，也有可能。从这个经文里面，辽本纪他第一个就是教成者，他是第一个，佛陀他转法轮的第一个人，他就排第一个，可能也有这样子的一个方式的可行性。
Looking at this sutra could be that because Ananda was the youngest Sangha, youngest bhiksu. For instance, all the sutra always start with that first bhiksu who attained arhathood under the Buddha, the bhiksu. I can't remember the Sanskrit name, but in this particular version, the meaning of his name is understanding the ultimate state.
还有吗？
第二个问题想要请教法师，我不知道阿难跟提婆达多是兄弟，直到今天法师讲法，所以弟子想跟法师请法，是不是在下次解说佛说无量寿经的时候，能请法师讲一点阿难跟提婆达多之间的故事？
这样子可以啊，可以啊，好。
阿弥陀佛。
因为我们时间其实也是讲提婆达多的故事也很多，其实我们学佛人也可以来了解一下他为什么他也是佛弟子，后来他也离开僧团自己去那个，我想也可以，下一次我们可以谈这个事情呀。下一次我们13号我们还有一次。
对，弟子原因想知道是阿难跟佛陀这么的亲近，而且他很慈悲，而他的兄弟提婆达多却以另外一种的面向跟态度跟佛陀互动，所以我想会是很有意思，如果可以听听他们俩的故事。
也好，很好，上年也有讲过蛮多他们的故事。
The question was, this is the first time I've heard that Devadatta actually was the brother of Ananda, and that is very interesting, and I would like to hear more about the relationship, the fact that Ananda was the Buddha's attendant, whereas Devadatta turned out to be a great adversary for the longest time. So the Dharma master said, yes, because of the limitation of time, we don't have much opportunity to talk about it today, but perhaps on the 13th, the next time, we can find out a little bit more about this rather unusual relationship.
Okay, 还有吗？没有的话，我们就回向。OK， 好，我们没有的话，我们就我们起来回向好了。那个下礼拜我们拿吉他来弹。我们这次我们还是用我们的这个中文式的回向，来请大家起立。功德回向。愿以此功德庄严佛净土，上报四重恩，下济三途苦。若有见闻者，悉发菩提心，尽此一报身，同生极乐国。顶礼老和尚。南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛，南无阿弥陀佛。好，大家晚安。OK。